Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to another video. So, before I talk about the progress I made this week, I'm going to talk, past couple of days, I'm going to talk about something with making videos. So, I think it was the last video, maybe the one before that. I talked about, I'm just going to sit here and just talk about the progress I made and do a lot less editing because that's one of the big reasons why it takes so long to get videos out because I just don't want to edit the videos. So I'm going to take that a step further going forward. I'm just going to try to grind a video out every single day to get better at the whole process of making videos, all of it. Just to raise my skills up so that I can start making higher quality videos and just get a fast workflow instead of focusing on quality first when I can't even make a video every week, let alone every 2 weeks. So and another thing is, I've been making one feature each video. If I'm making a video every 2 weeks, then that's not a lot of progress. That's one feature or one chunk of progress, if you will, every 2 weeks, and that's not an acceptable amount of progress. So I hope this new system is going to help with getting more progress out, which is definitely a plus. So without further ado, let's get into the progress I've made. So I've started working on a UI system. Right now it's just rendering an image, and I mean, really it could render multiple images. I just didn't bother to put the time in to show that off, but it's just rendering images, and that's the only UI I have so far. Um, Tonight and tomorrow, I'm gonna try to get a button working and hopefully something else. Like actually, so here's the image. It's just loading the image from a file that I literally just opened Paint and drew a little smiley face real quick and saved it. That's all it's doing. I'm using STB image to get that loaded, and then my existing system I had for Direct 3D 11, I actually have to change it a bit because doing 2D is just taking features away instead of adding features like you would for 3D. So it was trivial to implement that. And I just got that set up, put on the left side of the screen, and it just works. Another thing I'm just right now while I have the program open, I'm going to try to get this fixed where well, obviously the cursor is shown, and most first-person games don't have the cursor even visible. That's trivial to implement, and so that's not gonna be the hard part, or even centering it to the screen, to the center of the screen, the cursor. That's not gonna be difficult to implement. What is difficult is getting it to work nicely with the camera system, and that's a problem I'm gonna have to work out, because if it's locked to the center of the screen, it'll for one frame I can move the cursor a bit, and then it just snaps back and you can't look around. So I'm gonna have to think about how to fix that, but that'll be for tomorrow's video. So I'm gonna dive into the code a bit here, something I haven't done before. Um, Here we go. So I just have this little function here, which to create a UI element. It's just generic. It just says create UI. That's not very specific because there's no other types of UI. It's literally just images. So I'm calling it create UI, but in the future that'll be like create UI image or something like that. You can see it's just loading the image from file using STB image. It uses my existing system to create the mesh for it, which I can pull up the data for that mesh. It's not a lot, as you could expect. It's just a quad with very simple data for the UV and the position of each vertex, and it's just filling up. In case you don't know what NDC or normalized device coordinates are, it's basically coordinates, but instead of doing pixel coordinates, you do it on a scale of -1 to 1, which is so -1 on the x would be over here on this left side, 1 would be all the way over here on the right side, and then same thing, -1 here at the top, 1 at the bottom, and 0, 0, 0 being the very center. And so this just fills up the entire screen, which is a bit easier to work with and sort of visualize the numbers for positioning UI elements. And then just some very basic UV information just so we can get the image properly put on there. So that's it for loading the image. We have this other function for rendering it. It's very, very simple. This is the one for like rendering a 3D model. It's a lot more complex, and I just don't need to be running all this code just for a little UI image. So it does this, and then here's the shader for it in case anybody's interested. It's not a lot. I mean, as you can expect, here's the, just for comparison, here is the shader for everything else for 3D models. And you can imagine I don't need to be running all this code just for a little UI image. So I created this one. It's just taking it just takes the color for this texture, and that's the color it uses. This actually be using the input color multiplied by that. Hold on a second. Fix this quick. Sorry, I'm doing this with one hand. I have the microphone held in the other. Okay. Sorry, I just saw a bug there. That's another benefit of recording stuff. You see the stupid mistakes you make while programming. Anyways, that's about it. That was the code, the progress I've made, and actually, let me pull up Obsidian. I really love. I would recommend this app to anybody. It's a really nice productivity note-taking app. And I have this plugin called Kanban. It's like Trello, but it's right here inside of Obsidian, and it's just a markdown in like a really nice format. And I really like it because it's bare bones, and I always have Obsidian open, and so it's really nice to just always have this open and ready to use. Anyways, that's not sponsored, but I really love this app. Anyways, here's my milestones and like stuff I hope to achieve. So right now, obviously, I'm working on UI, and part of that is, oh, sorry, I'm recording this on my laptop, and I don't have screen space available. Done. So I showed this today is my image loading and rendering code. And then I'm going to be working on that mouse lock to the center. And then next is going to be font rendering, so I can put some text on there. I really should add button UI element or something like that. I'll put that at the top here. Yeah, that's about it. And then I'm gonna get some form of serialization so I can save like where the player's at, and then after that I can implement a GUI editor so I can edit the world. Actually, that should probably be first. Make the GUI editor, and then I'm gonna save the world, some sort of file. That's about it. I just wanted to show you guys my plans going ahead. This is probably very basic plans. There's a lot more smaller things that aren't on here. So these are my plans for now for a couple months probably until probably into December is probably when this should all be done. And by then I'll have plenty more things to have put on here. So thank you for watching the video this far. I know it's very rough and my speaking skills are not the greatest. So thank you. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.